Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And with that, we do say welcome in to another brand new live edition of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond. We are live this morning. We have made it. We are live this morning here from Bill Penny Toyota. Don't forget, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then on Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., they can service your vehicle. They can take care of all your vehicle's needs. They've got you covered here over at Bill Penny Toyota. And we are live once again from here, 256-576-4977. That's the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. You can join the show on what day is it? Tuesday morning as well, as we are getting you ready for what will be another fantastic edition of Talking Ball. And the countdown is on, Drew. The countdown is on to National Signing Day. We are one sleep away from that early signing period here on National Signing Day.
Yeah, we are, and just in a couple of minutes, we're going to talk just shortly to Brian Matthews of AuburnSports.com, and we're going to talk some Auburn with him because they've got a lot of irons in the fire. It's probably going to be a very eventful Wednesday for them, as it will be the 21st through the 23rd is their early signing period. It's been a very active recruiting period for Auburn, as they have, been very active in the transfer portal, especially, and that may be where most of their work is done, no doubt about it. But they definitely still have. They flipped some high school prospects as well. They've still got guys like Tony Mitchell that's committed to Alabama that they're trying to flip. There's still the James Smith, Quay Russaw, saga that's got to play out tomorrow on signing day. So a lot going on the Plains, and since 2001. He's covered Auburn. He's part of AuburnSports.com, which is part of the Rivals Network. And we wanted to say hello and wish a Merry Christmas to our guest, Brian Matthews, who's now joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Brian, good morning. How are you?
Looks like we'll get Brian here in just a minute. And
hey, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
All right,
okay.
There we go.
What's up, Brian? How you doing, man? Merry Christmas, brother.
I'm doing good. Merry Christmas.
Hey, it's live.
We just thought you had gotten real busy with signing day, and Brian and
we heard a ding, so we thought your phone may be going off again.
And with Hugh Freeze actually out there, getting things done, we thought you were busy getting some stuff taken care of.
Well, it has been very, very busy for you, Freeze, and this new staff, and it is a definite change over the previous group who did not do a lot of work out there on the recruiting trail, right?
Yeah, they're having to really make up for lost time. And, Brian, the way they've been doing that is they've been very aggressive since they've got in place in the few weeks since Hugh Freeze has been on the job. The staff is now really starting to take shape. He's got his coordinators in place. Interesting that Christian Robinson was not retained. He's hired his linebackers coach. So for our listeners, kind of update us. Who are the latest guys to be put in place staff-wise?
Well, I think the big ones were Ron Roberts as defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Philip Montgomery as offensive coordinator. Ron Roberts is exactly the type of DC you think Freeze would take, a guy who can basically run his side of the ball, and take care of those issues over there without a lot of, oversight or what have you. And I think Philip Montgomery is a little bit different than usual. I usually went out and got an experienced coordinator on the offensive side of the ball to free himself up, you Freeze, to go out there and recruit more. Which is something he mentioned in his opening press conference, and something that Auburn's head coaches needed to do for the past, decade plus. So I think that was important for him too.
And then yesterday, what is it? Zach Etheridge saying that he, puts it out there that he is staying home. So it's Zach Etheridge and Cadillac Williams staying on the staff from before.
You're basically taking the two best assistant coaches on the previous staff to keep them. Again, another really smart and important move for you, Freeze. if you look at Auburn's team next year, regardless of who they sign or who they get from the portal, the only two positions you can say are positions of strength, really, are two of the three, are the secondary, Zach Etheridge, and the running back with Cadillac Williams. And I think the tight ends are in pretty good shape, too. But, it's those two positions, running back and secondary, where Auburn's gone out and signed good players consistently and had good production from. And I think it was really important to get those guys. They're so important to this team in the way they recruit and the way they coach.
Yeah, and then he's hired Josh Aldridge from Liberty, a guy he's very familiar with, to replace Christian Robinson. He's going to be the linebackers coach. So some familiarity on this staff for Hugh Freeze as well. It's a mix of guys he brought with him from Liberty, both offensively and defensively, and then two coordinators that he hired that were, Montgomery had spent 7 years as a head coach and has a lot of ties to the state of Texas as a high school coach. And then you talked about Ron Roberts and what he did at Baylor. And really, I know he and Dave Aranda parted ways, but the 2 years Roberts was there, they were one of the better defenses in the Big 12 2 years ago. Or when they won it in 01, they won the conference, probably the best defense, and then in the top four this year.
Yeah, and, I think Ron Roberts is going to run that attacking style defense. I think a lot of Auburn folks, including me, like to see, more similar to Kevin Steele, right? Got to find edge guys. So to be able to do that, that's going to be one of their biggest need areas here. And, it's going to be interesting to see how Philip Montgomery and Hugh Freeze sort of meld their two offenses. There's some similarities, of course, but, I think, Philip likes to spread them out a little bit and run, some, power concepts. And then, of course, Freeze, I think, has done, at least recently, a lot of RPO stuff.
Well, obviously tomorrow is going to be a busy day with the signing period, but the quarterback position seems to be a position that Auburn may not be settled in. I mean, I know they have Robbie Ashford coming back, but everywhere you turn, it seems like they are rumored or interest in a guys in the transfer portal.
Yeah, and they're definitely going to add at least two quarterbacks here, whether it's tomorrow or in the coming weeks, or they have to wait until, later on next year. It's just a matter of time. And I think, Devin Leary from NC State, who was in this past weekend, I think that was pretty good shape for him. He would be a great addition to this team. He's coming off that pec injury and surgery, but as soon as he's ready to go, he could step in and be a, play and plug instant impact type quarterback there. And then, we'll see. I think they'll take a more developmental quarterback, from high school. I know the kid, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but that was committed to Liberty. And he committed to his offense last week. I think it's Brown.
Hank Brown.
Not a pretty kid. Yeah, Hank Brown, there you go. Thank you. But a kid that put up really good numbers, has nice size at 6'3", 6'4", and can take some time to develop behind some more veteran guys.
Yeah, no question. And interesting, and then they've been very aggressive in the portal. I know you had a chance to speak with him, but Philip Montgomery, some of these new assistant coaches have relationships with guys in the portal, and one of them you spoke with, though, that as you've already been mentioning to us, that edge is very important, whether it be high school players or experienced transfers. But Jeremy Garrett, I know, has connected with Elijah McAllister. He's from Vanderbilt as a graduate transfer, and I know he's a guy that Auburn's very interested in.
Very much, and he's a very, of course, from Vanderbilt, he's a very studious guy, wants to pursue his PhD at wherever he ends up. I think for him it was Auburn, Virginia Tech, and possibly Boston College. I'm not sure he's a true edge guy. I think he's more of a strong side end or jack linebacker, and then Auburn's system under Roberts. But Travis Ford, the Oklahoma State transfer edge, I think he's close to the decision. Auburn's one of his finalists, and then we'll see with some of these high school kids. I don't think Auburn has much of a shot with Trey Rusall. Kendrick Faulkner's visit on Sunday, but we'll see on that. He's been pretty strong in his commitment to FSU, so that might be an area they have to address in the coming weeks and months.
Yeah, it could be, no doubt. And then I know also Dylan Johnson seemed to have a good visit from Mississippi State.
Yeah.
And thoughts and prayers of what happened with that situation. We all can't you're just a feel for the Mississippi State family, but he had already decided to transfer, and he's a running back with his ability to catch and run that really fits Hugh Freeze's offense really well. We all knew Tank was probably going to the NFL, but they need a complement for Jarquez Hunter, and it seems as though Auburn could be in a strong position for Dylan Johnson.
I feel pretty good about Auburn's chances for Dylan Johnson and for Thomas, the receiver.
Right.
Although I know Georgia is really pushing hard for him too, but I think visited Auburn twice. Dylan was here this past weekend. And I think in Dylan, the other thing, if you look at Auburn's running backs come back, they're not big guys, and Dylan's got some size to him. He's got some weight, some width to him, and I think he'd be a really good complement to the running backs Auburn has now, and the guys they got coming in. Jeremiah Thompson's the guy that's got tremendous quickness and speed and big playability, but he's not a real big, thick kid yet. So I think he'd fit right into Auburn's offense and would be an excellent addition.
Yeah, no doubt. And as you wrote in your musings, I mean, big boy recruiting returning. Hugh Freeze not afraid to throw his weight around early. Certainly, you may not hit on every target, but Auburn trying to get a much-needed talent infusion, whether it be through the portal, junior college, high school. There's not a rock being unturned right now.
No, there's not. They're going after everything they can to help this team right away. He doesn't have a 2 or 3 year plan. He wants to get this team back competitive next year. And we'll see. I do think this is a real rebuilding job. They've probably got room to add 40 or 45 players from the portal and from high school and junior college recruiting. So that's a lot of new faces, and you just don't know how everything's going to come together. But he is not going to just take his time and try to sign a bunch of high school players and hope they're good in 2026. He wants to push the envelope as much as possible to get as good or improved as much as possible by next year.
Sets up for a busy 24 hours
yeah.
for you and the gang. Also, though, I want to slip in just your thoughts, though, on Auburn basketball falling to Southern Cal over the weekend.
Yeah, well, that was an interesting loss because Auburn did a lot of things that had not been doing well in that game. They're more efficient offensively.
Yeah.
They really dominated on the board, which has been the opposite for the last few games. They just had 23 turnovers, and really, I think the foul discrepancy, I think it was like 10 or 12. They were behind there too, so that hurt them a lot. But other than that, you saw some progress. It'll be interesting tomorrow night at Washington.
Yeah,
we don't know how healthy Wendell Green is. You would hope he would have made some progress over the last couple of days, and then Jalen Williams got banged up in that game, and we're not sure if he's going to be able to play it too. So, we'll see. I know they want to come home from this West Coast trip with at least one W, and we'll see what they can do at Washington late Wednesday night.
And then to circle back as the last couple of minutes, this is Brian Matthews, very busy right now, tracking, recruiting, and, of course, the staff additions. It looks like the staff is nearly complete now for Hugh Freeze on field, but they're trying to continue to add to this roster. I know Auburn still, I mentioned it as we started with the Tony Mitchell situation at Thompson. What are you guys hearing? I know we talked on the Blitz yesterday with your colleague Caleb Jones. Auburn's still very much working him. You just mentioned kind of Rousseau and Smith. It sounds like Auburn less confident with those two guys. What are the latest with those 5-star guys that I know Auburn was still working hard?
Tony Mitchell's interesting because he visited Auburn several times.
Oh yeah, he has.
A lot, and that's usually a great sign, right? I've been doing this recruiting thing for a long time, and when kids start visiting other schools, that's probably a good sign they're going to flip. But this is also a situation where you're talking about a much more established program in Alabama compared to Auburn, and we don't know exactly any details in NIL and how that plays this decision too. So I would just say for Tony Mitchell, that's a guy to watch on Wednesday, right? I don't know that he would come out and say anything before then, but that's definitely a guy to watch. And then, the same thing you could say about Keldrick Clark or Smith. normally I would think that, okay, that Quay did not come to Auburn this weekend is pretty much telling you, okay, he's done with recruiting, he's going to Bama, this is over. It was nice to have James come up for a day, I think, or a couple of days with his family. But again, that felt kind of like a courtesy visit in some ways. But again, we'll see. Sometimes you never know what can happen, over this time leading up to signing day. And Keldrick is a really interesting one. Auburn recruited him really, really hard. He chose Florida State, and this new staff, they made him priority too. So that's the one I'm watching probably. Him and Tony Mitchell are the ones I'm watching closer than the other ones, I think, at this time. And I think they're the ones that Auburn has the best chance, if there's any chance at all.
Right, and then offensive tackle's a huge need, but Auburn looks like they're making some inroads with the JUCO ranks. When Miller decommits from Ole Miss, and then they already felt, I think, pretty good about Jota when he decommitted from South Carolina. So that could be a big day for Auburn tomorrow at that spot.
It could, and Jota did visit Colorado, I believe. So
Prime, yeah.
I talked to Isaiah on Miller, the other JUCO, and I felt really good about Auburn's chances after that discussion. You could sort of tell Auburn was the school. At least I felt that way. So we'll see what he does. It's Auburn and Mississippi State for him for the former Ole Miss net. I think it was 4 or 5 transfer offensive linemen in.
Yes,
center, a couple tackles, a few tackles. So they're going to grab a couple of those guys for sure. So they're doing a great job, I think, right now of rebuilding that offensive line.
Well, we know it's going to be a busy day for you tomorrow and the rest of today. Tracking everything, auburnsports.com, the place to be to go for the latest staff and recruiting information for the Auburn Tigers. Brian, let everybody know how to connect with you, and we certainly wish you and yours a Merry Christmas, and we thank you for taking the time to join us right off the show, off the jump this morning.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. You can check me out, all the information on recruiting, basketball, football, and more at auburnsports.com. Follow me on Twitter, BMatt.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Brian.
Appreciate it.
All right, Brian Matthews there with us, and some good stuff. And yet it is. We are less than 24 hours away from that early signing period or National Signing Day, which it has become. I mean, this is the big day tomorrow where pretty much every school, a lot of your Power 5 schools, most of your schools, they're going to get everybody signed tomorrow. Some of them are already, some of these individuals are already on campus getting ready and helping their teams with bowl practice.
That's right.
Going through right now anyway. So a lot of them are already on campus, and I know a lot of people are really kind of paying attention to the Caden Proctor situation.
That's right.
We will know tomorrow morning during our show where he is going. At 8:45 tomorrow morning, he will have an announcement at his school there at Southeast Polk High School in Iowa. He will have his announcement at 8:45 tomorrow morning. So we will know during our show tomorrow morning whether or not he stays at Iowa or if he ventures out west coast, if he ventures south. Where is he going? We'll find out tomorrow morning at 8:45.
We will, and he's a big piece, and he publicly decommitted from Iowa, which didn't look good for the Hawkeyes. So, it looks like it's Alabama or Oregon. Both those teams have aggressively recruited him the whole time. So the latest visit was Alabama, but Oregon with Phil Knight, you never know in this NIL era. So like you said, Scott, that'll be a huge piece of the puzzle early tomorrow morning.
And I found this interesting. We are on the eve of signing day, but Jeff Traylor, who is the head coach there at Texas San Antonio.
That's right.
Texas San Antonio had a phenomenal year this year, again ranked inside the top 25. They lost to Troy in the bowl game. But he has taken to social media, Drew. He's not happy. He is not happy at all. He wants the NCAA to step in and do something. He says, how do you report Power 5 schools who are trying to poach our young talent? How much evidence do we really need to make this not be a part of our game? That is coming from Jeff Traylor, the head coach at Texas San Antonio, who obviously now is seeing Power 5 programs come in and try to poach guys out of his program and steal them away.
Because of this transfer rule that's out of control where they're not making people sit out, so it's like free agency. And like I've said, you should be able to move one time before you graduate.
Right.
And then after that, if you graduate, then you can go ahead and move. Maybe, tweak the rule to if your head coach leaves, you can transfer. But they've got to do something. But as usual, the NC Double Dum is behind. They're reactive, not proactive. They've got their thumbs shoved straight up their rear ends, as always, and they're just playing stupid. And all they're doing is counting their money. And so, they have to look really, really bad before they decide to do something.
And this is looking really, really bad. I mean, with the collectives and the one-time transfer rule and everything else that's going on right now. I mean, these Power Fives are able to buy up kids. And it's interesting because Travis Hunter, who's in the transfer portal from Jackson State, everybody just naturally assumes that he is going to go to Colorado. But people are saying, well, not so fast. This guy's very versatile. With a lot of these big Power Fives and the collectives that they have, they could spend a lot of money and woo a Travis Hunter to their program.
Yeah, and I heard yesterday Georgia may be trying to make a play for him, but I'll just say this. It's just going to be another Caleb Williams thing all over again.
You think so?
He's going to flirt with a lot of schools, and Caleb Williams, remember, he got down to Wisconsin or USC, and we all know where he went. He followed his old coach. Travis Hunter will probably talk to a bunch of schools, and then miraculously he'll probably call his second press conference, do his second edit or whatever the hell he's going to do, and it'll say, I'm a Buffalo. So, I wouldn't get all whomped up about everybody just trying to create drama anyway. Go to Colorado and quit trying to play everybody, and get your 15 minutes of fame and, actually play the game. Do something on the field instead of trying to make a circus out of all of it.
Well, coming up here in just a few minutes, he's been through a circus or two. Joel Van Meter will join us as we talk about the Huntsville City Classic. And I want to see, does this play here? Let's see. Well, anyway, we will get I want to make sure this is not playing for me. Bryce Young and Will Anderson both did meet the media.
They did. They both met the media yesterday.
And I had my Bryce Young here, and it just not pulled up. So let's get a break in, and we'll get to that later in the show. But Joel Van Meter will join us on the flip side. We'll talk Huntsville City Classic basketball coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
No need to get your tinsel in a tangle. The Alabama Boat Sale at Rambo Marine in Hazel Green is coming up January 13th through the 15th. With over 200 units in stock ready to be delivered, Rambo Marine will personally gift wrap it for you. Seal the deal today and you'll enjoy the no-show Mordo Rambo Marine Special, a $3,000 additional discount. Mark your calendars for January 13th through the 15th to join us at the Alabama Boat Sale at Rambo Marine in Hazel Green. Ho, ho, ho! Santa approved.
Welcome back. Stan McDonald from the Stanton Law Firm. I had lunch with Lewis just recently and with a client of ours, a mutual client, and great to hear all the good things going on at the Stanton Law Firm.
Thank you, Wes. The Stanton Law Firm, as you know, we've discussed before, we're dirt lawyers. We do a lot of real estate, litigation and closing. And yes, my son Lewis McDonald enjoyed meeting you a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of your friends. He is, as you know, he's opened up a commercial closing division. So he's really helping a lot of people who are trying to close, buy, or sell on their commercial property. And you can't be in this community doing business without knowing Wes neighbors.
I don't know about that, but it sure was getting to meet another McDonald and talking a little bit about his grandfather, Coach Dye, and right, the different things. It was a lot of fun.
Well, your listeners are really going to enjoy meeting Lewis and you in this community. And like I said, at Jacob Title or the Stanton Law Firm, we close business. We close some good commercial closings, residential closings. We appreciate being part of your show.
Looks like we're still only getting one lane of traffic past that wreck just before the Greenbrier exit on the eastbound side of 565. That one turned out to be a no injury. Had a report of injury, Old 20 in Greenbrier. They canceled Himsey on it. And a couple of wrecks up around Glen Hearn. Had one on the westbound side, one on the eastbound side. They should be pretty well moved out of the way now. D&L Refrigeration repairs heating and air conditioning units for homes and businesses. D&L 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Welcome back, Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you as we kind of get you through what is a nice and so far tolerable weather-wise on a Tuesday. It's going to get colder as the week goes along, so make sure you have everything prepared. Get prepared if you need to, because weather-wise it's going to be a little chilly, a little cool coming out there for the rest of the week. Coming up here in just a minute, we are going to talk Huntsville City Classic basketball. It is quickly approaching. We are less than a week away from when we will start, well, it's a little over a week away from when we will start our coverage. We will start our coverage on Wednesday with the quarterfinals, semifinals, and then on Thursday we will have the championship game right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. But the action does get underway 1 week from, 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
Is it 2 weeks from today?
No,
it's 1 week from today.
It's actually only about, it's hard to believe, it's only 7 days.
It's 1 week from today.
Yeah, we are going to be getting underway the 27th of December over at Huntsville High, and our next guest is with us. His team has become an institution in our tournament, and we're certainly proud and honored with that. He's now been in our tournament for several years. He's made runs to the finals. He's made runs to the semis. He's had one of the most consistent programs in 6A basketball. I believe he's in year 13. Had a chance to talk with him this summer over at Supreme Courts in Guntersville. A younger squad for him this year, but it's still a lot of talent. And if you want to see a team defend at the highest level, you certainly are going to enjoy watching the Oxford Yellow Jackets compete. And the head basketball coach, Joel Van Meter, is now with us once again to talk some Oxford Yellow Jackets basketball this morning. Good morning, Coach. You're with Drew and Scott in Huntsville. How are you?
I'm great, man. How you guys doing?
We're doing good, Coach. How are you doing this morning? And great to have you coming back again. We always enjoy watching your teams compete. I know when you talked to me this summer, you were excited about your young guys. You've had a lot of veterans in the program that we got very familiar with watching them come to our tournament each year and get better and better and move on to the college level. But a younger group for you this year, but I know you were excited about their athleticism. You lose Rylan Houck to Lenny Acuff at Lipscomb, but still a lot of young talent in your program.
Yeah, sometimes you get spoiled when you have the Zondra Garretts and Rock Taylors and Rylan Houck to the world. And this is kind of I won't call it a rebuild, but it's like you said, we've had some guys graduate, and now we've got some younger guys who are stepping in those roles. And, we're just battling every day to try to get better. I think we are. The biggest thing is you got to learn how to win games when you're young, and we've lost 4 games by 3 points. So we're just trying to get over that hump.
And what better way to try to get over that hump than come up here and play in the Huntsville City Classic, Coach? Test your team to the finest.
Yeah, I mean, I say this every year. It's the best tournament that we play in, the best tournament that I've been in, just in terms of how much people care, the way they take care of you, the crowd, everything involved. Our guys get so much from it. It's such it's such a big thing for them to look forward to come up and play in the tournament, and it's got such history to it. So it always excites us to be able to pit ourselves against the best teams in the state. And obviously, the slate of teams this year is, you're not running from anybody in that group.
You certainly aren't, Coach. You're so right about that. It's as good a field as we've had in a long time, and that's saying something. I mean, I was thinking back, how long I've been around it now. This will probably be, I think, officially, once the first game tips off, this will be my 33rd consecutive year with the tournament, and I go back with it a long time, and I think that's what separates us. We like to think we have a lot of people that are passionate about it and want it to be a well-run event. We certainly have a lot of great people that put it on and do a great job, and even when the torch gets passed, people understand that this is a big deal, and it's certainly a big deal for your kids. They enjoy competing in this event, and we've talked about this before. It's a tough 3 days, but it's tough as any regional you face, so it helps harden you for area play after the Christmas, and also for the importance of postseason play down the road.
Yeah, and I think you said it best. I think teams and programs are always talking about culture and creating, a type of culture that can withstand a lot of things. And I think your tournament, you guys' tournament has created an unbelievable culture. Just the welcoming of people, the excitement that surrounds it. You guys have coaches on the radio, and it's just, it's a high level, very important deal for the city of Huntsville and for everybody that's involved, which rubs off on us that are coming in and, not necessarily from the area, but we learn more and more about it every year. So I think the culture of the tournament's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Coach, talk about your team right now. You mentioned getting over the hump. How close are they? I mean, is it one of these things where if you can make a good run here in the Huntsville City Classic, that's going to give you guys that edge? Or is it one of those things where it still needs a little bit of work?
Well, it's like I said, we've lost 4 games by 3 points, and we're 5-9. You split those games, we're 9-5. And the level of schedule that we played, just some of our losses, Carrollton out of Georgia, Hiram out of Georgia, who I compare very similar to Hoover. We've lost to Hoover. We've lost to Pinson. We lost to Midfield. We played a great schedule, and we wouldn't be where we were unless we played the schedule that we played to reveal our deficiencies. And I really do. I think we're right there on the cusp of turning it in terms of understanding what it takes on a daily basis to win. When you return 2 guys who played quite a bit of minutes for us last year, but one of them's a 9th grader, one of them's a 10th grader, and then the rest of your team has no varsity experience. They just don't understand how to win a game. Now we've won some, but they really don't understand how to win those close games. But I think throughout the schedule and the battles that we've been through, and we've been able to watch film on the little plays, just turning the ball over when there's no pressure, or, you're supposed to rebound the backside in our zone, and, you don't get that rebound, offensive rebound putback. Those simple plays are what's costing us, because all of them are one-possession games. So I think we're right. I think we're right there to make a turn. We played pretty well in our first area game against Fort Payne at home, but going there will be a whole different story, because it's really hard to go on the road in area play and win a game. But I think if we can come up there and put together some good games, I think it continues the confidence that we built. But everybody knows this: confidence is built when you win. Confidence isn't built when you lose. So you gotta be able to win the game.
And we're talking to Joel Van Meter. I believe it's his 13th season at the helm of the Oxford Yellow Jackets. Coach, I believe you guys are still in 6A Area 13. Is that the only area game y'all have played?
Yeah. We played one game before Christmas against Fort Payne, and then when we come back after Christmas, we go to Gadsden City first, and then we go to Fort Payne and then host Gadsden City. So ours is a 3-team area.
Yeah, gotcha. And Coach, I was excited about that 9th and 10th grader you talked about, both those young men this summer. But for our listeners, talk about those two young guys and tell them about those two, because I know those are a lot of times that's what people, our fans do. They file it away. They remember the names of these kids, and they like to we send out we try to with these interviews and with our coverage of the tournament, we want to give these young men a platform. But just tell our fans about those two young people you've got that are going to be really special players.
Yeah, the 10th grader's name's Jaden Lewis. He's about a 6'3.5", physical, athletic specimen. Like he bouncy around the rim, does a great job of rebounding for us because we're not very big. He's our biggest guy. And he does a great job around the rim of rebounding. He's developing his game every day to go further and further away from the basket to be able to produce some points. Plays with great energy. Going to be a really good basketball player. And then our freshman, and how many times does this happen? We made it to the region last year, and over half of our games we started an 8th grader at the 6A level, which is unheard of to me. But Jalen Alexander's a freshman who is our point guard. The ball's in his hands the majority of the game. He gets guys open shots. We've got two guys that are shooting above 35% from three, and a lot of the reason why they're getting open is because of him. Jalen is a special talent. Like, he just got a special feel for the game, and he's gonna, he's only gonna get better and better. I think his biggest deficiency right now is just his strength as a freshman in high school, and the stronger that he gets, the better that he's gonna get. And both those guys are kind of leading us. We've got another kid that's kind of really come on lately. His name's TJ Allen, a junior, that we go over to Georgia Saturday against Mount Pisgah in a 3-point loss. He has 21 points. He goes on a 10-0 spurt himself in the third quarter. Can make the three, is starting to drive it a little bit. So those three guys are really, they're kind of who we lean on. And then Brock Reeves is our lone senior, who has had 15, 16-point nights, who is helping us as well. So those are some names to kind of stick out to you. And then we've got an 8th grader who, he's an 8th grader. He's a little bit of a puppy, but Marcus Perry Jr. can really, really shoot it. And if we can get him some shots in games, he's shooting at a high clip for that. But, we just got to get him some open looks. So, like I said, we're really young, but hopefully will be fun to watch. And it's like you guys said, one thing that we will do, we will guard you.
Oh, there's no question about that. And then 4:30, you're gonna no easy games, as you said no layups. You guys get the 2-time defending 5A champions, League Generals, at 4:30 on the first day. Yeah.
It's always one of those deals you want to call Christian and those guys, say, hey, guys, I appreciate who you pitted us against. But yeah, Coach, I've known Coach Brown for a long time. At my first really good team in 2012, 2013, we had to go on the road in the crossover and play Coach Brown at his place, and he was number 1 in the state. And
Wow.
I kind of got to meet him there, and we talked a lot there, and they ended up beating us. They went to the regional finals and got beat by Mountain Brook. But I've known Coach Brown for a while. We played a bunch. I think 3-4 years ago, maybe. It might be 5 years ago. We played them in the Huntsville time when they had, I think they had Kobe Brown.
Yep.
Ooh, he was a good player. He kind of, we did a good job against him in the first half, and then he came out the second half and showed why he was going to Missouri. So, but, you know, Coach Brown does a great job. His teams are always really, really well coached. They play hard. You know, he's been an institution up there in Huntsville, so it'll be a great test for us.
It certainly will, and we look forward to your team traveling up here. And Coach, how many more games you got this week before you guys break?
We're off.
Okay, you're done.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're practicing every day. We ended up Friday, Saturday over at the War Eagle Classic at Woodward Academy in Georgia, which is a great little classic that they put together. Played 2 good teams, Southwest Atlanta Christian and Mount Pisgah split. So we're off until we come to your guys' place. But it was much needed practice time. You know, a lot of what we've done is we figured out what we need to work on. So now we're going at it in practice.
Certainly sounds good, and we look forward to it, Coach. Safe travels. Merry Christmas to you and your family. We always enjoy how hard Oxford plays and the quality of teams you bring here. We're honored that you're bringing your team once again, the Oxford Yellow Jackets, to Huntsville to compete in our 40th annual event. We like to think you're part of the family now, and your program. We certainly think a lot of it, and so do a lot of the coaches around here. But thank you, Coach, and we appreciate you for joining us this morning to talk some Oxford basketball.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me, and you know, just to add this, it's an honor for us to be in it. It is. Our guys really look at it as an honor to be invited up there, and they really, really appreciate the opportunity and really look forward to it.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
All right, let's get a break in. When we come back, wrap up Hour 1 of Talking Ball live here from Bill Penny Toyota.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing: helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit AVIQHSV.com.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Attorney Tommy Sinyard on behalf of Sinyard Law, and again proud to be a sponsor of All Things Football here on ESPN Radio. My son Bart and I started our own law firm July 1 and are very proud and excited to be bringing you our 50 years of collective national award-winning injury trial law experience. Check us out on the web, sinyardlaw.com.
Sinyard Law, nationally recognized, locally respected.
Still only getting one lane of traffic past those accidents on 565 that's eastbound at Greenbrier. Turned out to be no injury, but they had several vehicles involved. They're still trying to get it all cleared away. Had an accident reported with injury, Old 20 in Greenbrier. They canceled Himsey on it, and we got one at Zert Road and Nature's Way that's being reported with injury. You could lose 20 pounds or more in a month. And the 2030 Fast Track Weight Loss Program can help balance your hormones and reduce stress. 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that His mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Live local shows.
Hello.
Live local play-by-play.
Oh, now's a good time to check the radio.
Plus, the power of ESPN Radio. It's all right here. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And welcome back, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. We are live from Bill Penny Toyota, sitting out here in the service department where they can take care of your vehicle's needs.
They are mine.
And they are literally taking care of your needs, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Got to get a battery replaced, and what better place to do it here than Bill Penny Toyota? They're open at 7 o'clock. They had people waiting outside the bay door, Scott. And, of course, in this cold, frigid weather that we're going to have, you've already kind of clued people in later this week.
It's going to get a little chilly. It's going to get a whole lot of chilly.
You better have a fresh battery, bruh. That's all I'm saying. I mean, if the wind chill factor is going to be -1 on Friday afternoon.
I don't.
That's harkening back to the days of when Scott was growing up in Iowa.
Oh, I don't want to hear.
To finish with.
I am like, oh my goodness. Yesterday we did, speaking of not wanting to hear, we did want to hear from Bryce Young and Will Anderson. And Bryce Young, here is why Bryce explained why he's coming back to the bowl game.
Yeah.
It was just I wanted to finish with my teammates this season. Again, there's been a lot of work, a lot of a lot that's gone into this year, and I just get another chance to play with my brothers. That's really how I look at it. This is a great opportunity for us as a team, for me, for all of us, and we've all had each other's backs all year. It's been about accountability, about making sure that we're holding ourselves to our standard, and that's words that we all live by, that I live by. So for me, it was easy. I just wanted to it's another opportunity to go out there and play with my brothers. So again, I'm grateful for the chance we have, for the opportunity we all have, individuals and as a team. This is a huge opportunity. This is a big game to play against a really, really good team. We have a lot that we want to prove to ourselves. There's a lot that we want to accomplish as a team, and I'm just happy to get another chance to play with my guys.
So Bryce Young playing in the bowl game against Kansas State, and you could make a case that Bryce Young probably not going to improve his draft stock a whole lot by going out there. Will Anderson probably not going to improve his draft stock a lot by going out there and playing in this bowl game, but nonetheless, they're out there playing, and I guess sometimes it's just playing the game that wins out, not preparing for your future like we see with some other ones. It'd be easy for them to sit on the sidelines and watch this game.
Yeah, and then I just got to, laud Alabama for, what, they've been able to do with Bryce and Will. And I thought it was interesting, and you heard it here on 97.7 The Zone last night. Hey, Coach, now on Mondays, now that football season is winding down, it's at 6 o'clock on Monday for an hour. And it was interesting. They had a guest on the CEO of the Sugar Bowl, Jeff Hundley.
Yeah.
And he said, what Alabama did in terms of the insurance policies to make it possible for Young and Anderson to participate in this game meant the world to us. We're excited about it. He said, I texted Greg Byrne over the weekend and asked that he pass it along to Coach Saban, and I'll tell Coach when I see him here face-to-face how grateful we are, because we feel like we're getting the full Alabama product here, which is something we're proud to host. And we got the sense that Alabama fans were perhaps waiting to see if Bryce and Will were playing.
Right.
Now that they know that they're coming, hopefully there's still some tickets available. There's rates have come down. They feel like it's a great opportunity. And I've got friends that have tickets, and I've got friends that I think want to find tickets now. It's made it a more attractive matchup.
Well, you're getting and here's the thing, and the SEC haters out there.
Yeah.
The Alabama haters out there.
A lot of them.
If Alabama were to fall in this ball game, the first thing that they're going to say is, Alabama's going to say it didn't matter because Bryce Young wasn't playing, Will Anderson wasn't playing. Now you're getting hat on hat. You're getting Kansas State's best, who, by the way, did beat TCU in the Big 12 championship game and nearly beat them in the regular season. This is a quality Kansas State
champs.
Yeah, this is a quality Big 12 team that Alabama will face, and Alabama will face it with all of their arsenal at the disposal. I shouldn't say all of it. There are some guys that depth-wise that Alabama lost because of the transfer portal that they do not have. So there will be some depth issues there for Alabama, but it is, you wanted to see it, and Kansas State wanted to see it. So we do get a Sugar Bowl that does have at least Bryce Young and Will Anderson in there. Doesn't have a lot of other guys because, there are, a few guys that did go in the transfer portal that we're not going to see.
All backups. They're on there. They weren't going to start, or they had lost their starting jobs, and now they're going to Miami to try to get back out on the field. And good luck to Javian Cohen. He put in some good time at Alabama. Hopefully he'll have a good run at Miami. Hopefully they can go from pathetic to putrid. We'll see. But they, or putrid to pathetic, whichever way you want to say. But they weren't very good, and they need to improve quickly. And a guy with SEC starting experience like Javian Cohen should be a big help to Miami. TCU, you just mentioned they're in the playoff.
Yeah.
They got JoJo Earl, so he could be a big part of their offense next year. Under Sonny Dykes, who has done a remarkable job there in his first season. So certainly, these guys are hoping to go for that left, or hoping for better opportunities. We'll see where Amari Kite ends up. Could he end up at Auburn? We were talking to Brian Matthews about Auburn being so aggressive at offensive tackle. But they, it'll be interesting how many they add from the portal and the junior college ranks, because they need starter type guys. But these JUCOs, if they sign with Auburn, I think they're under the impression they're going to start. But when you're bringing in transfer portal guys, you also they want to play. So it's going to be interesting. But Auburn's in his position, though, because of the recruiting. We've talked about it repeatedly. At the end of the Malzahn era, and then for the 2 years that they lost under Brian Harsin, it wasn't good.
Nope.
And so they've got to add players and add them quickly.
All right, that's going to do it for hour one of Talking Ball. We're going to get you back underway for hour two. When we come back, Jamie Coggins going to call in. We're going to talk to Coach Sparkman, head coach, going to preview some more of this Huntsville City Classic. Got a lot to get to coming up here next on hour two of Talking Ball, live from Bill Penny Toyota.
Are you looking for that right heating and air company to keep those winter blues away? Look no further than Talent Heating and Air. Thomas with us this morning. Thomas, locally owned, no better way to go.
That's right. We're based in Huntsville, so you know you're going to get timely service. Normally we can get to you within that day that you called.
And that number is?
It is 256-503-4490.
And you have special treats for our 97.7 ESPN The Zone listeners.
That's right. For all the listeners that mention this ad, they can get $1,000 off a unit replacement if they call in by the end of the year.
And that number again to call?
256-503-4490.
Thomas, we've given them the phone number to call, but you guys also have a website as well. Let our listeners know the website to find Talent Heating and Air.
Yeah, that website is talenthvac.com. You can schedule on that website, and we can get out to your house that same day a lot of times.
All right, one more time for our listeners. It's $1,000 off.
$1,000 off to the end of the year on 15 SEER and above units.
All right, it's Talent Heating and Air, locally owned right here in Huntsville. Give them a call today.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Our newest wreck is Zert Road and Nature's Way. That one is being reported as an injury time. Got one at 53 and Dan Tibbs. It's a no injury, and they've opened lanes 1 and 2. That's the 2 lanes up against the wall eastbound on 565 at Greenbrier. Number 3 lane is still closed as they work to get both those accidents cleared up. Someone dies from heart disease every 36 seconds. Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace Avenue can help you keep your heart healthy. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Any rain around this morning should get out of here by the time we get to the early and middle part of the afternoon. Temperatures only climbing into the upper 40s and lower 50s, dropping into the low and mid 30s as we head into the overnight. Early Wednesday morning. Wednesday's not going to be a terrible day across the Tennessee Valley. We're going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 50s, seasonal for this time of year. Dropping just into the lower 40s through the overnight and early Thursday morning, climbing into the lower 50s Thursday afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Back hour 2 of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We are live. We're live on this Tuesday morning here at Bill Penny Toyota, sitting out here in the service department. They'll take care of all your vehicle's needs Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and then on Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. All you got to do is give them a call at 256-837-1111, and they can take care of all your vehicle needs. They can make sure everything runs smoothly. And now would be a good time to come in, especially with that cold weather coming in. Come in and get your vehicle all serviced and make sure it is all fired up and ready to go before all this cold weather hits, especially your battery. You never know when that battery, you never know when that battery.
Raising my hand here. Yeah, I wasn't sure about the battery, but yeah, getting it fixed now. We appreciate all these fine folks over here at Bill Penny Toyota, and hopefully I'm going to be back to rolling here today. but certainly they are a great sponsor, have been for many years, and do a great job here. And we are here live at the Service Department, and we are previewing the 40th Annual Huntsville City Classic. One of our favorite people is now on with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and he may be a little warmer than us, Scott, even though I think it's still a little chilly, but he's in Daphne, Alabama right now.
Oh, okay.
Playing in a tournament on the other side of the state. He's, of course, done a great job in his 11th year with the Sparkman Centers, two-time Final Four participant, reached the state championship game against the Mountain Brook Spartans. He's reached the finals of the Huntsville City Classic. He's done it all at Sparkman, and he and Coach Hughes over there, they do a great job of with their team of building a culture and being very consistent. We always enjoy catching up with Jamie Coggins, and he's taking some time out of his schedule this morning to join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, you're with Drew and Scott. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, Drew and Scott. I hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for having me on this morning.
Oh, well, thank you, Coach. I know, sure that you're at the hotel over there in Mobile and Daphne area. Talk about that event you're in. You like challenging your team, going to different places. You've gone to Kentucky. You've gone to Georgia in the past. You go to different venues and events. Talk about this tournament you're playing in pre-Christmas to get you guys ready for the Classic right now.
Absolutely. We always try to take a trip before Christmas somewhere we've never been. And we decided this year we wanted to come down to the southern part of the state. We've never really come to the Mobile area and play some different teams and see some different competition and different styles and philosophies. And we won yesterday against a good Theodore team, 6A team that's traditionally, a regional team and a team that has made it to the Final Four before, but we won yesterday 45-39, a good rugged win for us against a real physical, tough team. So it was good for our guys to experience that.
Well, Coach, obviously, assess your team, where you're at right now, going into this week and going into this challenge and going into the Huntsville City Classic. Obviously, I believe area play has already gotten underway, kind of assess your team where you're at right now.
Well, coming into the year, Scott, this is one of the most inexperienced teams that I've ever had, and I'm really pleased with our start. We're 10-4 overall, 1-1 in the area, and it's been a little bit of an up and down. We had a nice run there, winning the Vestavia Hills Thanksgiving tournament, beating Enterprise and Vestavia Hills in that tournament, and then we've like every team in the season, I think every team goes through a little bit of a mini slump where they don't shoot it well, and that's kind of what we've been in here in the last 4 or 5 games. And we're just trying to fight our way through it. And we're really, really guarding well on the defensive end, which that is setting the tone for us right now. And when you don't score the ball well, you got to rely on that. And we're doing a great job on that end of the floor. And hopefully we can start making some shots here. But that's kind of where we are. And we're looking forward to today. We're playing McGill-Tulane in the semifinals of the tournament, a perennial 6A Final Four team. Philip Murphy does a great job there. They've won the state championship before, so it should be another good challenge for us today.
No question, and of course, Coach Jamie Coggins and his group, the defending Huntsville City Classic champions, won a great final over Grissom last year, an area opponent that they played in the championship game. Had one of the great stories, and that's what we always build on. Coach Joel Van Meter talked about the tradition, Scott, in this tournament. Tradition is a big part of it, and memories. And we had one of the all-timers last year. We had the MVP of the tournament, a senior who has moved on from Coach Coggins' program, but Timber Kirk was the MVP and didn't even start a game, to tell you the quality of the Sparkman team a year ago. They have, of course, When Lyford has moved on to Virginia Wise, have had several of their seniors move on to play on the college level. But as Coach is telling you, they've had some guys step into new roles. They're 10-4, already won a Thanksgiving tournament over at Vestavia, and now trying to win this event over at Daphne, and will take on McGill-Tulane later today. Coach Philip Murphy's squad, who's come up to Huntsville and played as well when he had Barry Dunning, who's now at the University of Arkansas. So a lot of good basketball being played. And Coach, you talked about your inexperienced group, but guys stepping up. And I know you guys started area play a little earlier this year, 7A Area 7. You've already 1-1, and you won a big game over at Albertville. And one of those seniors, though, Will Hawkins, made a big shot for you.
He did. I mean, it was that's a really tough place to play, Drew. Anytime you go up to Albertville, I mean, you got to be ready for a fight. And, Albertville played well that night, and we had to grind it out. And, 6 seconds left in the game, 37-37, we had to go the length of the floor, and Will Hawkins steps up at the buzzer and drains the three, and we get out of there with the win. And Will has really, really stepped up this year. He's the only starter from last year back, and he's leading us in scoring and rebounding, and really doing a great job for us. I mean, he's so active and plays with so much energy, even on the defensive end, blocking shots and setting the tone for us. And, he knocked down a big three last night. Theodore had taken the lead on us late in the game, and he comes down. We come down on the offensive end. Next possession, he drains a three to give us the lead back. And so another big shot for him. So he's really stepping up and playing well for us.
Coach Jamie Coggins joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, head coach of the Sparkman Senators. And, Coach, how can this Huntsville City Classic kind of help this team grow? You mentioned a young team. Every time you get them on the court, that's great. That's experience. This is a tournament setting. This is a little different. I mean, I know you're going through it now, but this is a little different. This is what you would see in the postseason, this style, this quick turnaround and everything. How can this help a young team grow?
Well, I just think any time that you step into an environment like this, Scott, it's just beneficial for us down the road when we step into those environments in area play, area tournament, even the state playoff at the regionals. I mean, any type of environment like this where the stands are packed, there's a lot on the line, and you have to perform under pressure. I think that really is a great experience for this inexperienced team, and we just keep building on that every day. And it's no doubt going to help us, no matter what happens in the win-loss column. Just going through these scenarios and these close games that we've been in is going to help us down the road.
It certainly is, no question about that. And, Coach, I know you're in your 11th year. You won the tournament for the first time last year. The second time, the Senators have taken home the trophy, the other time being in 2005. It was certainly a great boost for your program. You went on to reach the regionals yet again, knock out a really good Grissom team, because we know how good 7A Area 7 is. But now in the first round of the tournament, it's an interesting first-round matchup because you guys get to take on an Old County rival at 1:30 p.m., and I know you're not concentrating on them yet, but you have had your eyes on Buckhorn. You know how much young talent they've got. That's one of our marquee matchups for the first round, you guys taking on a really good Buckhorn team.
Absolutely. I mean, just if you look down the bracket and you look at the matchups, you would say, man, this is going to be a good one right here. Buckhorn, off and on, we've really played them over the years. We just didn't have them on the schedule this year.
Yeah.
And we're matched up with them in the Times Classic, 1:30. And when you look at Buckhorn, just, I've watched a little tape on them, a little film, and very talented, led by Caleb Holt, just a freshman, who is one of the most talented guys in our area, and really has a chance to be one of the greats coming out of the Huntsville-Madison County area. I mean, just a special talent that, the sky is the limit for him. So it's going to be a challenge for us. And you look at the rest of their roster, Jeremiah Wilson, just a sophomore, Fred Derrick, the transfer from Jemison, just a sophomore, and then guys that came back from last year. They have a good, talented, a great team, talented, and Coach Harding does a great job. So it should be a great first-round matchup.
It really should. And for the listeners, you've talked about Hawk. I mean, Will Hawkins has played a lot of basketball for you. I kind of consider him the Herb Jones of Sparkman. He does so much for you. You talked about him stepping up, making big shots for you. Talk about some of the other guys on your squad, because this is a younger group. It's the next wave, so to speak, of Senators that we're going to become very familiar with. But talk about the other guys that have played well for you and certainly played well last night to put you in position to make a run here in this tournament over in Daphne.
Well, you look at some of our guys, Drew. Cameron Jones has really stepped up. He was the guy last year that came off the bench a little for us as a junior. He's a senior now. Really a combo guard. He plays the 2 sometimes, and then we move him over to the 1. But he's been our best three-point shooter this year, shooting at about a 39% clip. He's really playing well for us. He really ran the point for us well last night, running our team, getting us into our stuff, really leading us. So he's doing a great job for us. Another guy for us is Trey Berger, another senior. He was a JV guy last year as a junior, but he's really stepped up. Another one of our three-point guns, and great rebounder. Plays really hard on the defensive end and shoots the 3-ball really well. And then Carmelo Montgomery, who's the football, basketball guy. Carmelo has really stepped up. He played well last year in that Spain Park game. Kind of got his footing there. And he plays the 4 or 5 spot for us. So he's doing a great job of inside, outside for us. So those are some of the guys leading us right now. Some other ones, Chase Bell, he's the transfer from Madison Academy. He had a nice game last night, really stepped up off the bench. I think he scored 11 points and had 7 rebounds for us. So when you look at our team, we've got, several guys in different roles, and we just need guys to step up and make a few more plays for us.
Mm-hmm. And I know the defensive end of the floor has really pleased you. And, Coach, talk about to swing back. What went into the decision? A lot of times we've seen the last few years the area play didn't start till January. When you were building this year's schedule, what went into the decision to play some area games in December?
Well, when you look at that, Drew, I mean, we try to schedule things with our girls, too, and try to be on the same page.
Right.
And the girls got invited to some big events in January, especially that first week of January. They're going down to the New Orleans Sugar Bowl tournament.
Oh, wow.
And so that kind of played into it. And then the other thing is, when you look at the next level, the collegiate level, they're starting to play more conference games in December. So they're kind of getting off and running a little bit earlier with their conference play. So I don't have a problem with playing an area game in December or 2. And it kind of fit into our schedule this year. So we opened up with Grissom at home, and they defeated us. And then we went on the road to Albertville, which that's where we're at right now, 1-1.
Well,
yeah. I mean, there's still a lot of area still left. I mean, you still have area left. But it's a good way, though, to get a good barometer, give the guys a little bit of taste of a couple early area games. You reset the calendar, and then you get to go back and finish it in the end.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just it's the way it worked out, and we wanted to, we had to play 1 or 2 in December, but we still got 4 left. We got, Huntsville, of course, twice, and then Grissom on the road, and then Albertville at home. But like you guys say, I mean, you look at our area, unbelievable. I mean, Grissom ranked number 1, Huntsville ranked, we're ranked. I mean, and it's like every year, all 3 of these teams, and Albertville has a good team. I don't care what anybody says. They're tough at home. They play hard. They play well. Coach Bunnell's doing a good job over there, and man, this is a tough area. I mean, a very tough area.
It's as tough as any in the state, and that's because of the program you and Coach David Hughes have built and continue to. So very consistent now in the 11th season for you. The defending Huntsville City Classic champions, and again, we congratulate you on that win last year. I know your kids are looking forward to defending that title. We certainly are looking forward to that Buckhorn matchup, such an outstanding one. Old County rivals that are taking on each other. May be the top matchup of the day, and that will be at 1:30 in the main gym at Huntsville High coming up on the 27th. Well, Coach, good luck later today against McGill-Tulane. We hope you get another big win for the 2-5-6 in the Madison County area and can bring another tournament championship home, your second of this season already, considering you've already won the event over at Vestavia. But we wish you a Merry Christmas, and we thank you for taking the time out of your schedule. We know you're preparing your team for this McGill-Tulane matchup. But, again, good luck later today, and thank you for joining us this morning to talk some Senators basketball.
Well, I appreciate Scott and Drew always having me on. You guys do a great job. Merry Christmas to you. Appreciate the kind words. It was amazing 3 days last year, and hopefully we can come into the Times Classic this year and play well and get some good experience. But Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I appreciate you letting me guys having me on today.
Yes, sir.
Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you, Coach. That's Jamie Coggins, one of the great ones in the business, Scott. And
he is.
I'm going to miss Tim Burr, though. That was one of Matt Smith's best ones as far as being the PA guy. Everybody got to hear Timber last year because he started early. In their first game, he hit 7 threes.
Yes.
And just stayed hot the whole tournament. And being carried that over into an MVP performance. And
if I remember right, Kalen Lightford missed the Huntsville City Classic.
Yeah, he was sick.
He was sick last year, so he did not play in the Huntsville City Classic. And so they did that last year with a
4-year starter, a guy that's really playing well at Virginia Wise.
Yep,
He's
got a couple starts. He's already got a couple starts there as a freshman, and got into conference play and has done well.
He has.
Yeah, but if I remember right, Kalen Lightford missed last year's tournament.
And there's another Lightford coming up that's doing well in the JV. So there we'll see another Lightford. Doing well for Spartan.
Well, it's going to be fun. And, again, 1 week from today, everybody will be playing. It's going to be a long day of basketball there 1 week from today over at Huntsville High. And then our coverage, again, will start on Wednesday with the quarterfinal action in the morning. We'll have semifinals that afternoon or the evening for you. And then the following day on that Thursday, we will have the third-place game and the championship game over our airwaves here at 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Let's get that final break in when we come back. Phone lines are open to you, 256-576-4977. Let's get a break in here on Talkin' Ball.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
They've upgraded that wreck at 53 and Dan Tibbs to an injury type. Got Himsey on the way there. Got University and Putman paged out as a medical call. But that may actually be an accident. And they've got 1 and 2 open now. That's lanes 1 and 2 eastbound at Greenbrier. That's on 565. Had a big backup there. Number 3 lane still closed while they work on that one. Snelling needs a property manager with QuickBooks experience. Snelling, how the area's best companies hire talent. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane, Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Rambo Marine in Hazel Green is your one-stop shop for all things boating. Whether you are ready to surf with the newest Malibu wake boat or cruise on a Cobalt or Barletta pontoon, we have a boat ready for you and your family. Rambo Marine provides exceptional service second to none, so that you are ready to hit the water in no time. Stop by Rambo Marine today. We know boats.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Orthopedics. You're thinking bones, muscles, and joints, right? Well, what else comes to mind? Maybe your spine, therapy, or an arm cast? What about sports medicine? What do you think about when you hear that? Are you thinking about the largest orthopedic group in the state, caring for the most student athletes in North Alabama? Or about the fact that they are teamed up with the state's largest hospital-based sports medicine program to provide care to more schools in North Alabama than any other group? If you are, you have TOC Sports and Huntsville Hospital Sports Center on the brain. If you're not, you should, because Huntsville Hospital Sports Center and TOC Sports have partnered for more than 2 decades to establish a state-of-the-art team of certified athletic trainers and orthopedic specialists who successfully continue to meet and exceed the sports medicine needs of schools, athletes, coaches, and parents in our community. That's why we're thrilled to return as presenting sponsors of the Huntsville City Classic Basketball Tournament, which you can hear right here on 97.7 The Zone. Committing to kids, committing to community, committing to care. That's Huntsville Hospital Sports Center and TOC Sports.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
It's the time of year again when football is in the air, and that means cool, crisp fall temperatures are just right around the corner. It also means that your home's heating system needs to be checked out before you wake up one morning with no heat. So give Environmental Comfort Systems a call or visit our website at envcomfort.com. We are your independently owned American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. Alabama license number 92314. Environmental Comfort Systems. That's envcomfort.com.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Two Maids and a Mop. That's all you need to know to clean house. Two Maids and a Mop is an award-winning company, bonded and insured. Hire them for yourself, or they have gift cards if you want to make someone else's day. Find out more online at twomaidshuntsville.com. A maid service worth talking about. Two Maids and a Mop take care of everything. They supply all the cleaning equipment needed. Call 256-883-6243. The only finger you'll need to lift is the one to call them.
And indeed, welcome back.
It will be Friday.
It could be. Yeah.
Could be.
Temperature-wise, it's going to be a little frightful.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, look. So we were sitting here yesterday. I was sitting there talking around yesterday, and I was like, okay, What are we really looking at as far as Friday goes?
Yeah.
And they said, well, don't worry about it. I mean, your lows are going to be like 4 degrees, 3 degrees with negative wind chills. And I'm just like, whew. I mean,
that's why thank you to Bill Penny in advance for this new battery that I'm going to need, because I don't need to be getting stuck out when it's minus 4 degrees trying to jump my car off.
No, you don't. You don't want to be doing. That's when you just give up. That's when you just give up and be like, I ain't going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. And that's the good news. We don't have anything going on. I mean, sporting wise, there's nothing going on. I mean, at least around here. The Huntsville City Classic will be next week. Hopefully we'll get to warm up by then. Tomorrow, though, is National Signing Day. You and I are going to partake in a heck of a dinner tonight. We're going to have our station Christmas party. And I don't know. I know we did last week, and I know we got to say it Thursday and Friday of last week, but, man, what an impressive turnout it was for our 97.7 ESPN The Zone listener party over at Flow.
A lot of great toys donated.
What an amazing night that was. And it's just been a fun week. Tomorrow, National Signing Day comes up on Wednesday.
Hey, remember, though.
We'll have that for you all day long.
Wonder if we'll have Grady calling in, because he's got to make the
Super
Bowl.
Grady's going to have to call in.
Is he going to wait till the next? He needs to call in because we're going to be off until the Friday the 30th, unless he's going to call in on a Friday.
I will. We'll make sure Grady gets on.
We need Grady on.
We'll make sure. Yes,
Grady,
I will.
Grady, along with our great friend Coach Royer, he came out and with his posse.
He did.
And had a lot of fun over it.
His entourage. Grady had his entourage. All right. So we got National signed in. Let's go out to the phone lines real fast. Pat from Tuscaloosa with us.
What up, Pat?
Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, fellas. Hey, can y'all believe that down in Tuscaloosa they're not talking recruiting at all? I mean, I'm just beside myself at what our radio hosts in Tuscaloosa area are doing, and I know that Drew can enlighten me. I'm under the impression that Caden Proctor is going to flip to Tuscaloosa, and what an exchange! A 3-star guard, which I thought was going to be a good athlete, that he was underrated. But for a 5-star number 1 tackle prospect that can possibly let our young quarterbacks be able to have the time they need to pick defenses apart. What do you think, Drew?
Well, I mean, I've heard nothing but good things since the visit for Caden Proctor. Scott's already talked about how he'll be making his decision. I believe, Scott, you said 8:45.
8:45, yeah.
So that'll be
Southeast Polk High School there.
So that'll be toward the end of our show. Tomorrow, our extravaganza, and before the recruiting blitz. So we'll have things to talk about during the show tomorrow as we have a wall-to-wall recruiting show for you, Pat. But, yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, he'd be a huge piece. I think he's cut from the same cloth as the Andre Smiths, the Jonah Williams, Evan Neals, the guys that we've seen for Alabama come out of high school and be able to start. Cam Robinson's as true freshmen. I think he's the same kind of guy. You don't want to put that pressure on him. Tommy Brockermeyer was not, but he had a history of injuries. I think, that's why Nick Saban allowed an Amari Kite to leave. I think they felt like they could get this kid and get Caden Proctor. They've been working on it for a while. I don't know. People will ask, is he going to be a left? Is he going to be a right tackle? J.C. Latham right now is the right tackle. He could be flipped to the left side. It'll probably come down to spring practice and probably giving them both a look and see how far along he is. But I think Caden Proctor is a very important part of this. You're talking about Raymond Polito, who's from Apple Valley, California, who flipped to Arizona. I think that was a mutual parting of the ways. Certainly I heard a lot of great things about Raymond Polito this summer. I probably what happened is maybe his film wasn't quite as good as they had anticipated. Because I think Alabama had the slots, but Nick Saban, they also have their irons in the fire for some other pieces late in this recruiting process. But certainly Caden Proctor would be a big part of it. Wilkin Formby has some potential, but he's probably going to need a redshirt year to get stronger. So you've got a J.C. Latham, you potentially have a Caden Proctor. They could be your tackles. Maybe Proctor spends a year at guard like Evan Neal did, but I think he's an elite tackle prospect. No question in my mind. It's also going to depend on Elijah Pritchett. and where he is physically because he missed some time with a torn pec this past year. We'll see if he gets any time in the bowl game because Tyler Steen will very likely be playing in this game with J.C. Latham, Steen's last game before the Senior Bowl. So it'll be interesting to see if Pritchett gets any time. But again, Pat, I think he's a huge piece, and I think when you look, if Alabama can close with him, Quay Russaw, James Smith, hold on to Tony Mitchell, which I think they will, in my opinion, then I think Alabama could end up with a runaway number 1 class. And then that doesn't even count Damari Brown, who I know they're trying to battle for. The Miami offered his brother, from UCF to transfer over there. We'll see if that has any effect. And then Desmond Ricks is another guy that I think Alabama has made a late move for, trying to outmaneuver Florida. LSU seems to have fallen back with him a little bit, so we'll see. But certainly I think Alabama right now, when you look at the C.J. Dupree from Maryland, the tight end as well, they wouldn't mind adding him. And then Luke Haynes from Bixby, Oklahoma, he's another tight end to watch. So I think Alabama's positioning themselves to potentially finish very strong and have the number 1 class in the country when the dust settles because Ricks won't sign until Thursday, so a lot of this hay will be in the barn tomorrow, but a piece or two may not sign till Thursday.
Yeah. Hey, Drew, while I was in the break, I was listening to your advertisers, and you got our air conditioning man talking about it being crisp. It's not going to be crisp this weekend up there. It's going to be cold, and I want to make a suggestion to all your listeners that they put some water, they fill their bathtub up with water, and the reason being is that their water lines to their toilets may freeze, and you want to be able to flush your toilet. Most people don't even think about that in a cold situation.
You don't. Yeah, because and that's the thing. It is. Thanks, Pat, for the phone call there. Yeah, thanks, Pat. Yeah, it's look. We may need to get the guys from Talent Heating and Air on here to figure out what we got to do, because I'm telling you right now. I mean, this is. Look, I've been down here since '99, and I grew up in this and stuff, but my body's not. I'm beyond that now.
You already know how I felt.
I'm beyond that now.
When we were in Indianapolis, okay?
Yes.
And we got people. It's 20 degrees and they're in shorts, and I'm thinking they're crazy, and they don't even think that's cold. Okay, that's when you know you're in a different place. I mean, the day of the national championship game. Good Lord. If it gets that cold on Friday, you're talking about me not going anywhere. I will not be going any flipping where. I'll be laying on my couch, man. I mean, I reconnected with my parents yesterday. They were in town. We were figuring out what was going on in my vehicle, which Bill Penny Toyota is graciously taken care of here today. But I mean, she asked me when I was coming down for Christmas, and I said, probably Friday, and because we've already told everybody, we're going to be off on Friday.
Yep.
But if it's 1 degree, I mean, I don't know, man. I we'll see. But
we may we're not doing anything on Friday anyway.
May have to wait till Saturday when the sun's up and it's a little warmer. Oh boy!
News for you: when the sun comes up, it's still not going to be any warmer.
Oh, it's still going to be cold.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, some interesting stuff. 256-576-4977. That's the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. You can join us on the show this morning if you would like to. We're live here again. From Bill Penny Toyota, trying to go over all the stuff that kind of has gone on or is going on. Something we did not get to touch to yesterday just because we were trying to get everybody caught up, and that is the Atlanta Braves did ultimately end up losing Dansby Swanson, headed to the Chicago Cubs, did Dansby Swanson. So Atlanta not able to hold on to the shortstop.
No, 7 years, $177 million. He's getting $25 million a year, Scott, and our good friend Bill Shanks, who we need to catch up with, but he's been on with us many times. He was very pessimistic once Dansby did not re-up during the season. And from what I understand, I think he had a 5-year offer for $100 million from the Braves, but he and his representation felt like he could get more, and they did. And so he decided to take the bigger contract. But the Braves had a wild card that they could play, and in their back pocket, who impressed at second base and a little bit at shortstop last year. That's Vaughn Grissom, who's as good a prospect as they have. And I think Ron Washington, who coaches third base and works with their infielders, has been working with Vaughn in the offseason and been raving to Alex Anthopoulos about how good he looked at short. So I think the Braves felt like, we'll negotiate with Dansby.
Right.
And if it gets too rich for our blood, we've got a really good young player we're confident in that we can pair with Ozzie Albies in the middle of the infield for years to come and save a lot of money. And so I think this money that would have gone to, in my opinion, that would have gone to Dansby will now hopefully go to Max Fried to sign him to an extension.
Okay.
Because pitching is the most important thing. Jacob deGrom went to Texas. There was some thought about him coming to Atlanta, but the Braves made the big trade, and we already talked about it, to bring in an all-star catcher.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I think they would, with this money, try to sign Max Fried, and then I wouldn't be surprised if they made another trade for a bat. And I'm talking about a left fielder, maybe a Brian Reynolds. There's been some speculation about him from the Pittsburgh Pirates, that he could end up coming in and being the left fielder, and then you could put Ozuna for 1 year. You could rotate him and guys like Travis d'Arnaud at DH, because then that way they won't be playing two catchers all the time. And so I think as far as they won't, the one guy is there, they could be able to save in d'Arnaud and get him some more at bats as a DH because he's 34 years old. And then, and he could still be an effective catcher, but he could also DH, and you could DH Ozuna for 1 more year until his contract mercifully comes off the books.
All right, little Atlanta Braves news there. Again, we're live here at Bill Penny Toyota, 256-576-4977. If anybody wants to join the show. And something that is going to happen today, just wanted to throw this out there. There will be a public memorial service today for Mike Leach there on the campus of Mississippi State. That'll be at 1 o'clock. That's going to be happening today. So they continue to move on. Something interesting too, and I've been kind of following this, and I don't know if you have or not, but Pete Thamel has been all over this, and that is the service academy guys. When they have NFL potential talent, they have always, I guess, they haven't been able to jump to the NFL. And
because
there is Andre Carter is on the big board for NFL talent. He is there for Army, and now, according to Pete Thamel, an hour ago, a new bill has been passed that will allow upperclassmen to have the ability to defer their military service and put their name in the draft, so they can now be draft eligible in the NFL.
Well, I mean, and we appreciate all these young men for their service, and we're so thankful for them. But it allows them in their younger days to, accrue some service time in the NFL potentially if they can play, and then once they retire, then serve the country. And I think that's an option that they deserve to have. I'm glad that, I wish the NC Double Dumb would do some of that with the, some of this transfer portal stuff and all that. But they're acting like they're whistling past the graveyard, acting like nothing's happening. As usual, I don't really understand Mark Emmert and some of these guys. I know he just got replaced. Sounds like by some Democrat, so you know how that'll go. But anyway, we'll see. But but again, I'm happy for these young men. If you're good enough, you should be able to, that should be again, you will serve your country at some point in time. But if you are talented enough to play a professional sport and you can do it at a high level right out of college, I think you deserve to be able to do that. And then, because the NFL these careers aren't long anyway.
Right.
There's
right.
a lot of life to live after football, and if you can do that and then serve your country, so be it. And you'll be certainly a professional athlete. You certainly will be physically able to do so, unless, of course, you suffer injuries. And there's, I'm sure, insurance policies for that. We've already talked about that with Will Anderson and Bryce Young. So these young people like an Andre Carter from Army who are good enough to be on the big board and have a chance to play, I'm glad they're going to get the opportunity to do so. And speaking of football, you already kind of mentioned it in the first hour. I was just reading up on Travis Hunter. We talked about him going into the transfer portal from Jackson State.
Right.
Look, I mean, it's been as they phrased it, a wild 24 hours since he got in the portal. But I know you'll just be shocked to understand what I said in the first hour, that the two teams that have moved up to the forefront for him are Georgia and
Texas A&M.
No.
Miami.
No.
I'm trying to think of the other one.
Colorado, of course.
Oh, well, yeah.
Where his old coach
Come on.
is. Come on. Like he wasn't going to be heavily considering Colorado.
Look, and the reason why I say that is because when he was at Jackson State, Deion let him play both offense and defense.
Well, yeah, and then Deion tried to convince everybody he didn't go to Jackson State for NIL money. I mean, come on. We know Under Armour gave him a bunch of money. Don't act like we fell off a turnip truck. I like Deion. I've always liked him.
I want to know.
Everybody, when he got drafted by the Atlanta, he said, thank God Detroit didn't draft me because I'd have asked for so much money they'd put me on layaway. They don't even have layaway now.
Question is, though, what is Deion going to wear in Colorado? Because I believe they are a Nike school,
They are.
Right?
They've already got prime logos on a lot of Colorado stuff. I don't know. It's going to be interesting because he had a big-time relationship with Under Armour, but guess who he had a relationship with before that when he was playing? Nike. So I wouldn't be surprised if they can't work something out.
All right, we're going to work something out here. We're going to work out our final break. When we come back, we're going to wrap it up with your tomorrow's headlines today right here. 97.7 ESPN The Zone, Talking Ball live from Bill Penny Toyota.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
They are still pushing all the eastbound traffic over into the number 1 and number 2 lanes at 565 in Greenbrier. That's on the eastbound side. That's been our big backup this morning. Had 2 or 3 different wrecks in there. Luckily, no injury, but a major traffic jam. 53 and Dan Tibbs got upgraded to an injury type. Zert Road and Nature's Way had an injury. Old 20 and Greenbrier should be long gone. Still may be working University and Putman. That came in as a medical call. The $6 big box is back at Popeyes with 2 pieces of that hand-battered Louisiana seasoned chicken, 2 sides, and a buttermilk biscuit. Popeyes, University and Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Football season is here, and as always, the best place to catch every game is downtown at Humphreys Bar and Grill. Humphreys is celebrating by bringing back their game day football specials. $2.75 Miller Lite, Coors Light, Yingling, and $3.50 Yellowhammer Gold Pints. $4 Fireball shots. Anytime football is on. And don't forget football trivia every Sunday night at 6. The best place to catch all the games all season long is downtown at Humphreys Bar and Grill.
No need to get your tinsel in a tangle. The Alabama Boat Sale at Rambo Marine in Hazel Green is coming up January 13th through the 15th. With over 200 units in stock ready to be delivered, Rambo Marine will personally gift wrap it for you. Seal the deal today and you'll enjoy the no-show Mordo Rambo Marine Special, a $3,000 additional discount. Mark your calendars for January 13th through the 15th to join us at the Alabama Boat Sale at Rambo Marine in Hazel Green. Ho, Santa approved. If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Welcome back. Stan McDonald from the Stanton Law Firm. I had lunch with Lewis just recently and with a client of ours, a mutual client, and great to hear all the good things going on at the Stanton Law Firm.
Thank you, Wes. The Stanton Law Firm, as you know, we've discussed before, we're dirt lawyers. We do a lot of real estate, litigation and closing. And yes, my son Lewis McDonald enjoyed meeting you a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of your friends. He is, as you know, he's opened up a commercial closing division. So he's really helping a lot of people who are trying to close, buy, or sell on their commercial property. And you can't be in this community doing business without knowing Wes neighbors.
I don't know about that, but sure was getting to meet another McDonald and talking a little bit about his grandfather, Coach Dye, and right, the different things. It was a lot of fun.
Well, your listeners are really going to enjoy meeting Lewis and you in this community. And like I said, at Jacob Title or the Stanton Law Firm, we close business with some good commercial closings, residential closings. We appreciate being part of your show.
The season is here. It's Woody Anderson Ford's 2022 year-end sales event, and we've got the best selection we've had in a long time. Nearly 400 vehicles to choose from and over 130 F-150s. We bet you'll find exactly what you're looking for. And while interest rates continue to climb, at Woody Anderson Ford today, you can lock in 2.9% financing for up to 72 months on a wide selection of our new Fords. As low as 2.9% for 72 months on 22 models of F-150, Explorer, Expedition, Escape, and Edge. Plus, get an additional $1,500 in bonus cash on 22 Edges. Offer ends December 31st. Or if a nearly new Ford fits you better, you can trade in and trade up on a Ford Gold Certified or Blue Certified pre-owned car, truck, SUV, or crossover. Great warranties, 24-hour roadside assistance, and you take them home with a full tank of gas and fresh oil change. Come on in for our 2022 year-end sales event. Woody Anderson Ford. Jordan and Sparkman hope to see you soon.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Something we're keeping an eye on. I know it has to do with the Pac-12, but just kind of keeping an eye on it. They are the only conference out there right now, Drew, that does not have a television rights deal, a new television rights deal. The SEC, the Big Ten, the Pac-12, the Big 12, they've all agreed. ACC, they've all agreed to their new ones. You ready for this one? According to the Business Sports Journal, or the Sports Business Journal, I should say, the Pac-12 right now is probably leaning towards putting all of their games on Amazon. Simply because that is where they're going to get their most money. Right now,
well, good luck for anybody winning the Heisman again.
Yeah, they're searching. They're asking for about $40 million
Your boy
per
Bill
school.
needs to help them.
Yeah, and right now they're leaning towards Amazon. ESPN will be prepared to split the Pac-12 media rights. They're prepared to split it with Amazon, is ESPN, according to the Sports Business Journal.
Right.
But they're not going to pay what the Pac-12 is wanting. They're going to want to pay more in line of what the Big 12 is, what they're paying the Big 12, and that's not something the Pac-12 is wanting right now. So something to keep an eye on. One of the other things is no more 10:30 p.m. kickoffs. That is something that the Pac-12 is really aiming for. They don't want those Midwest 10:30 kickoff games. They want more in line to where everybody can see. So we'll keep you updated on that, because the Pac-12 is the only conference that has yet to come up with a new media deal. Mark from Huntsville with us live we're from Bill Penny Toyota. Mark is wherever Mark is. Good morning, Mark.
What's up, Mark?
Well, hey, good morning. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, both of you. I'm back in Huntsville full time now, so I'm retired.
Okay, good.
Nice.
Yeah,
Got that
so I'm
retirement
looking
in.
for a radio job, remote.
We need. Maybe you could bring Leonard Losers out of retirement there.
Oh, I'm going to this next year. I sure will. Hey, I didn't know y'all were famous. I mean, you guys are on TV like Bomb, but that's a poor person to reference. But I got to see you guys on Facebook. I didn't know y'all were streaming live. So.
Yeah, we stream everything every day on our YouTube channel, WZZN TV. We're on Twitch, we're on Facebook, and we're on Twitter as well. So
wow,
we're everywhere.
Scott, man, he was Dukes of Hazzarding it today, brother.
Yeah, we took some liberties. We took some liberties on the roads.
I'll go back and watch it. But hey, real quick, I got a brother of mine who works at one of the Southeastern Conference schools in the athletic department. I'm just not mentioning the name. It's not Alabama, it's not Auburn, but it happens in all of them. And that is, you remember, Means is the last name of the guy, Albert Means.
Albert Means,
yes. Alabama paid for him, and to get this guy, Alabama got the worst penalties other than SMU. And matter of fact, maybe 5 or 10 years later, NCAA used bylaws that says we'll never penalize another team like we did Alabama. Okay, they hammered them. All right, there's a team in the Southeastern Conference that, and this is happening with NIL now. I think we all know that. I wanted Drew, if you would comment on this one. There are cash payments. We're talking about drive through this neighborhood, pull into this driveway, open this mailbox, and the X amount of dollars are there. Boosters, and then nobody regulating that kind of money. Nobody's talking about the Albert Means money that's coming now, because you can't regulate it, because if they try to say it's rogue boosters,
it's the collective, and it's not even rogue anymore. Right. It's the collectives.
Right.
That's part of the
that
game. Yeah.
Right, but that part. You don't hear that. Nobody wants to talk about that little part, because that little part's been going on a while. But the reason why it's been sort of, died down some is because of what happened in Alabama, because of what's happened. It's the fear of, I guess, getting caught and that sort of thing. So I guess what my point is, Drew, is if you'd comment on is, I've said this before probably, but Nick Saban, when you can't, I guess, get an advantage in terms of doing things the right way, like he always talks about doing and does, I guess that's going to be the end of Coach Saban. And I wonder if it's these sort of things that I'm starting to hear are pretty prevalent now. Mailbox drops, they call them. If you comment on that, and I'll hang up the list.
Well, I think Nick Saban's already, I said this yesterday, he's already adapting. I think he'll pick his battles. I think they will play the game somewhat, the NIL game, because you have to.
Yep.
But I think he's a problem solver, Mark. He's always used it as motivation. I think fuel, things that people would drive certain coaches out of the game. I don't think it does Nick Saban, because I think he's very competitive and he wants to figure out a way to solve it. And I think.
But do you think he wants to solve this though when it's not the pure part of the game?
Well, I think what he wants to do is eventually help move this along to where it becomes regulated.
Okay,
and
I see what you're saying.
The game long term.
Get out of this nasty funk, or this icky situation that college football is in right now. All right, that's going to do it for our 2 hours. We've been live at Bill Penny Toyota. We'll be back in studio tomorrow. National Signing Day comes your way tomorrow. We'll have you all covered on that. Get you through all the headlines tomorrow as well. Stay safe. Download the app today. And, hey, if you're at we'll see you tomorrow.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker. And